meet the man, and I'm saying, woo! You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo! Styling and profiling. Woo! Showtime.
Welcome to Defend the Hustle. Buffalo always keeps it a buck.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Lock in, because Buffalo is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain.
Go ahead and
right here, right now.
You go ahead.
subscribe and share now.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Defend the Hustle. Tonight, our special guest is Jim the Tech. Jim has been on this show before, and the last time we had him here, he was basically being transparent about the whole IT game. So we got him back again tonight in the saddle, and I'm sure he's going to be very transparent again. So if you have any questions that concerning IT, or you're having a computer issue or anything like that, this is the time to pose your questions. Jim got a wealth of information. I'm fortunate enough to have him as my brother-in-law. So anytime I'm having a computer issue or anything that I don't understand about IT, he's just a phone call away. So panel, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we're going to work our way around to our special guest.
Chris, one part of the half of the Glass City Pickers. Man, everything is everything. Hope y'all having a good Friday. Part-time reseller, full-time everything. So we're here on this Good Friday, man. Just appreciation life, y'all. That's it. How everybody doing this Friday?
All right.
I'm David, the middleman picker, part-time reseller, full-time truck driver, veteran. I sell on Amazon, Walmart, eBay, and whatnot. And you'll catch me on upcoming shows. Thank you. And thanks everybody for coming out.
All right. For everyone that don't know me, that is in the chat, I am Buffalo Picker, part-time reseller, full-time federal employee, retired military. The platforms I sell on is Walmart, Amazon, and eBay. Tonight, as I kind of gave a brief introduction, glad to have Jim the Tech in the room with us. Jim, go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into opening it up for us, the IT game.
I'm Jim the Tech. I've been doing this in this tech business for probably ever since '93. I've seen a lot of changes. Back in the '90s, we used to call it the wow effect. Seeing the new things come out and wasn't sure what's next. But now I think these days, I think everybody's kind of not really surprised at what's out there now. It's kind of expected now. It's amazing how much has changed over the last 20, 30 years. I remember going back to building systems. It was a lot of money to be made in the 90s and the 90s building systems, but now it's been totally changed. I remember back in the day where you put all this stuff together, wasn't sure what was compatible. Now it's a whole different thing. For the guys that's building system now, it's really easy for them now compared to how it was back in the 80s, the 80s and 90s. And it's nice to see some of those changes without question. But right now, the biggest thing in the last 8 months, I guess, that's basically hitting news is everybody's talking about AI. And, it is kind of, it's one of those things I think that without question, no matter which industry you're in, it's going to help you. And they got some bad things about it too. You've probably seen on the news some of these things that is being used for the wrong reasons, the wrong purposes. But the reality of it is, when you think about AI in the music industry and film industry, they've been trying to they got certain things in place to try to keep artists protected. But I will say this, and that's just me talking. When it comes to the movie industry, and it's thinking out the box here. When you think about going back, when you think about Sears, When you think about Kodak, you think about Blockbuster, the thing that and a few others. When you think about them, that what makes them alike right now, they're not in business, and you got to think about the future of this thing. Regardless if you like it or not, AI is not going anywhere. The reality of it is you can use it for what you need to get really catapult your business in a sense or whatever it is that you're doing. It's amazing how you can go to a site now that has AI and you got a business, you can tell us, hey, write me 5 headlines, no more than 200 characters. And it does it in seconds. I mean, when you think about how many people in the past that had to go to somebody and they had to write something simple as that and pay them, now you don't have to do that. Same thing with websites. You can tell the name of your business, give it put the address out there, the phone number, and it does it in no time at all. So this whole thing is going to change lives. And when you look back at automation and all these other things, I remember I used to work for Unit Technology back in the day. They used to make parts for Chrysler and Ford back in the day. And seeing how that's changed. When they used to paint cars, when you think about it, they used to have it dipping in paint and all that stuff. Now they got all the whole thing is automated. So they put a lot of people out of business, out of a job, say. So this thing here, in reference to I can see the biggest thing now I can see as a plus in a way when it comes to the movie industry. When you think maybe
hey Jim.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not just me, but is it possible you can turn your mic up just a little bit?
Okay, hold on a second. Maybe I might be too far away. Hold on.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to give a shout out to the chat. We're going to give a shout out to New England Cajun Roots for being the first in the chat. What's going on, Johnny? Thank you for your support. Swamp Pirker, what's going on? Thank you for coming out. LKL Key. All in one package. Everyone know that's Miss Buffalo. Thank you for all your support. Ping G, thank you for coming out. Jennifer Hayes, everybody know that's a mod for the show. Thank you, Jennifer, for all that you do for Defend the Hustle. Randy at Moon Valley Craft. Randy, I didn't get your package out this week, but it will ship out tomorrow. Apologize for that, but hopefully you'll win again tonight and I can double up for you. Yeah, I'll get that out tomorrow. The WWE character. I think it was Mankind. Florida Girl Pick, everybody know that is the middleman, better half. Thank you for coming out, Tanya. Harry Hamstone, what's up, brother? Appreciate you coming out, supporting the channel. Lil Debbie, what's going on, Lil Debbie? Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your continued support as well. Cheryl, thank you for your support. Thank you for coming out Friday night, Defend the Hustle. See what we got here. Jennifer. Okay, everybody just saying hello. All right, Jim, go ahead, man. Continue.
I was
you're a little too close now, brother. Hit the screen, man.
Let me just back up and breathe a little bit here.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, man.
One of the things, we're just talking about the movie industry, for example. There's been some negative things in reference to. I don't know if you've seen what happened in the news about Prince. They was basically out in. They was about to release a movie that was stripped. The writers stripped it using AI, and of course, then all of a sudden they pulled it. Now the reality is this: I can see that movie theaters using it, not theater but makers using that, where it might be pushing out 5 films a year. But with no people involved in reference to other than just using AI, I can see them pushing out more. Unfortunately, without actors in a sense, or not as many actors, I can see they'd be able to make more money. Even the theaters, I can see them being a little bit better in reference to pricing. So at some things, I can see that going to happen at some point. It's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to see it soon, but. The thing is, right now, it's a nice in our business tech wise, it's really fascinating to see it. It's really something else to see how they took one thing and did another. Right, matter of fact, the military now I think it's back in January. I think matter of fact, it might have been December when I saw it, where they have a certain missile, and once it takes flight, it doesn't need any human interaction. AI takes over from that point. and it's pretty unique how that works. So, in reference to this whole thing, business wise, regardless of what, if you a reseller, what have you, I can see it as a plus. But I will say that this is definitely a time, regardless of what business you're in, it's okay. Let me go out here and find out what's out here that can catapult my business using AI. And there are probably quite a few tools out there now. One of the things that quite a few of my customers over the years, I've been asked, say, well, Jim, I want to write about my story. I want to write about my life. There was an add-on called Voice Notes too. That was an app that you can add on to your browser where you can just talk into it. So if you're one of those people that want to write your story, you can just talk, tell it. You don't have to write it down, and you can spend more time proofreading. Now there are a couple of sites out there now where that you can do the same thing now. And if you got it written, it's neat to see how that whole thing comes together as a video. And I did a 3-minute.
As a video?
Yeah. So let's say if I write down where I came from, where I was born, my mother's name, father's name, what have you, and it turns into a video. Matter of fact, I sent you a link back here some days ago of one that I did a 3-minute video on where I just put in.
I got 2 phone numbers. Which one you sent it to?
I think I said that's an email. I think.
Okay.
But it's unique though, because think of it this way: if you're one of those people that can sit down and maybe use voice notes to talk into it, make sure everything's correct, and then copy and paste that to one of those sites, then you got your whole story that years from now that you could have your family view you long as you're already gone and left this world, but they still watching you video wise. It's kind of.
So let me ask you a question about that program. So, are you allowed to put your own image in this program while they're making the movie about you, or it just pull pictures?
Just pull pictures. You can give the script. You can type in description. Now, if you want more detail, you type that in there. We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty unique, and there's quite a few sites out now. I'm testing a few of them, and I was just totally blown away. As imagine. Let's back up here. Let's imagine that your great grandfather did something like this, or grandmother, right. And you watching. It's not them, but at the same time, it tells their story. Imagine that. Now we at this stage, when you look back as little as 10 years ago, we didn't have that option. So now it's really important to utilize those types of things. Now, for example, like business wise, if you type out all these little things about your business, imagine that as a video to entertain people to come to your site to buy your product. Now, how many people are doing that right now? I bet you because of AI, you're going to see more and more people do it. But the people that in your industry that are not doing, guaranteed that it's going to catapult your business, because now you got something they can get a feel of who you are when you tell your story, how you got started and all that stuff. And now they're watching the video of it. Think about that. So this whole thing with AI, there's some people there's some things that are negative about it, that people using it for the wrong reasons. But ultimately, it's not going anywhere. And you might as well embrace it, just like electric cars. We might, some of us, are stuck on the gas thing. But the reality of it is that this is not going anywhere, and it's very important, I think, now to start looking at what can help you business-wise, or like I said, family-wise, tell your story. So there are plenty of opportunities out there to utilize it, and so that's the greatest thing about it. So it's just now, I was just telling somebody something about last year, for example, before this news started coming out really about AI. It's been about 2 years. Down the street from me, there's a warehouse that had this this robot, I call it. It's like a security robot. It looks like a big giant egg, probably about 6 feet tall. And I said, man, that's something. I can see at some point that they're going to put something in it, and I can see where policemen's job is going to change. And now AI has come along. So imagine something like that having AI in it, and it's going to change the world in reference to what some of the things we see with officers. I see that's going to change. I can see where it's going to save counties money. It's going to save states money. And so regardless if we like it or not, you might as well embrace it, because it's not going to go anywhere. They put it in cameras, they put it in the laptops, they put it in all these little smart devices now. The matter of fact, I think Samsung has it in their phone. So it's pretty cool to be able to ask it just about anything, and it gives you an answer. Now it's going to probably be quite interesting when it comes to the legal part of this, where that a lot of times you asking a legal person and you paying them for a certain information you're trying to get. And so it changes in a way where you can just go there and ask it and get that free, So it's just amazing how this is changing. And so with y'all guys doing what you do, man, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a hot item if you haven't already started doing it, utilizing it. Because I can see what y'all guys do, it's going to really do major things for y'all guys. And so in my business, for example, just let me back up here. Samsung TVs, a lot of that stuff now they're slowly changing with that. I can see at some point where that a lot of it's going to be out of a job, just like as years pass, technology changes. I can see at some point TVs fixing themselves. Put certain components in it. It basically recognizes a component in that TV is going out and basically switches over to the component that's actually extra in the system. Fix it. They're most likely, like right now, you don't see too many TV repairmen now. And that's going to slowly just drop off when you think about it. So the same thing with us as computer technicians. I can see all of that slowly changing. So
hey, Jim, I want to ask you a quick question,
Yep.
and hopefully I'm not getting you off the topic
Uh-huh.
because you're putting out some good information. Like you said, if we don't keep up with the advancement of technology, we're going to be left behind. So when you out in the field dealing with your different customers, are you noticing like the older people getting on board with technology, or they are just reluctant to, keep moving with the times?
Yeah, they're reluctant. They'll see people still mailing checks, refuse to pay bills online.
Yeah,
But you can't force them. You know what I mean? But
right.
the reality of it is, regardless if you like it or not, just like if you want a new car today, let me back up here. A lot of it depends on how old we are. We remember the TVs that didn't have remote controls. You know what I mean? You don't walk in the store and say, well, you know what? I want a TV without a remote, that it can't be happy. I want that TV. There's no such thing. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as having a TV without a remote these days. So regardless if you like it or not, you have to take it on. I have a lot of older people that are reluctant to make that change. And it's something that you hate to see in a way because they're older. And a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff is a little confusing, even for me. You know what I mean? So imagine somebody in their 70s, leave with smartphones, for example. One of the things I see a lot of, where that a lot of people say, well, it's something simple for us to get through certain things on the smartphone, but you got some people that's in their 70s, 80s struggle. But this is just the way it is, You got a few out there still have flip phones, refuse to get a smartphone. But just like hooking up printers, some of the printers now, which is crazy, where that some of the printers to get it installed, you have to have a smartphone to install it. And that part, I admit, that's nuts. I had quite a few cases in the last 2 years that I have a lot of older people that do not have a smartphone. But for them to have the printer installed, I have to basically use my cell phone to install it. So that means that when they need to reinstall it again, they have a problem, I have to go over there and reinstall it for them. But that's one of these things that, unfortunately, regardless if you like it or not, this is where it's going. So when you look at this whole AI thing, it's really great in some ways to see how much it's changed. I still think in some of that it is a wow factor, because you would never ever think that some of the things that's being done now, I say in the last 8 months, you wouldn't even think it's possible when you think back prior to the 8 months now and you see how it's happening. So I just kind of waiting on what's going to happen the next 8 months to a year with it. So I tell anybody, regardless of your industry, stay on top of it and see what's out there, because you don't want to miss this. Because if you're one of those people that's in your industry that's using this to catapult your business, hey, you're going to be out there, long before anybody else, which is a great thing. So, when you see all this stuff, just like we talked about in the last show about printers, everybody get caught up with names. Just like with computers, everybody get caught up with names. And that's fine for some people. You know what I mean? But the reality of it is that it just just catching the wave. If you got something that's actually going to help you, this AI thing, you definitely want to use it. So one of the things that I think I told you I experiment with, is just telling a story, and I was totally blown away. As for now, you done turned your short story of your life into a video. It's cool to sit back and see it. Here's something that you created, didn't take much time at all, and now, man, you got people that you can send it out to your family, and they can watch. It might not be you in the video, but all the stuff else that they narrate and all the other stuff they talk about, it is you, and it is your life. And, so imagine as a business, a person want to know how you got started. All the pitfalls you went through. Imagine putting all of that in a story that you put out there to sell your product, to motivate somebody to say, hey, you know what? I love what I just watched. I want to see more of what he sells. So it's thinking that way. It's not thinking the negative, because the reality of it is it's not going to go anywhere. So you might as well ride the wave. You know what I mean? So I think to a point where it's really great. So, I see printers making changes with AI, like I said. Now, I think the only drawback to this, and just in my opinion, when you got AI on your phone, AI in your cameras, your computers, knowing that all this stuff is connected network-wise, now is possibly a privacy issue, And the thing is, once you don't put this stuff out here, you can't take it back. You can't bring it back. So that's something that you also had to think about using all of this. Unfortunately, it's a great thing in some ways, but at the same time, the privacy thing is an issue, and it's going to continue to be an issue, a bigger issue now when you got AI involved instead of human beings. And to give you some idea, and it's crazy that here it is 2024, I think it was 2016. I love to think it was Japan, if I'm not mistaken. They had basically was one that had put it in place in one of their prisons. Excuse me. And they had a case where they had a lot of prison breaks, and they put that in. And so the one thing they didn't expect, what it did, it started actually basically learning their prisoners and basically knowing pretty much what they think. And at that point, for the first time, they didn't have any breakouts. Think about that. Where this stuff started learning your habits, in a way is a good thing, and in a way is a bad thing, especially if a hacker get hold to it. So in that sense, it's not a good thing. But at the same point, it's really great seeing some of the stuff that's happening for the positive. And right now in our field, seeing how it's being used in doctors' offices and what have you, it is really great. Seeing now you can easily, I think now it's just making it that much easier to fix things when you use AI, because it's going to be pretty much on the money when you ask it to fix certain things. Say, well, I got a problem with this. You just ask it, and it tells it. And that part is really a good thing when you think about it. So I can't wait to see what the next year brings with this whole technology thing. And a lot of my customers are not liking it. I tell you first, if I had to take a poll, I probably would say probably about 70% of them don't like it, because it's new and they don't understand it. And that's probably a lot of it, And, I think some of the problems that I see out here with a lot of customers, they just reluctant to get into they don't want to go and use this new stuff. They're one of those people that want to use the flip phone. Yeah. And it's not so much you can do with a flip phone these days. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. Prime example. Speaking of phones, AT&T now is going to put out a smartphone connection. I mean, not smartphone, but a cell phone connection now for the cell phone. So you're going to have a satellite connection for your cell phone. So imagine walking around with a satellite phone. You can communicate even in deep woods now. Think about that. You got a phone for the first time that you be able to use anywhere. Imagine that. No dead signals, no nothing, because it's hooked into satellite. So all of that technology, of course, is great. One of the other things now, I don't know if one of y'all guys experienced this. I know AT&T has these internet boxes, I love to call them, modems, that I admit that T-Mobile started, I guess it's been about 2 years ago. I tested it out back here a while back, where that it just basically hooks up to their cell tower. Now a lot more people are doing it. They've done it. Verizon doing it. The only drawback, in my opinion, is that I think it's going to be an issue at some point. The more people you get on it, then I think it's going to slow down your service. By the time you done found this out, you in a year or 2 year contract and you can't get out of it. So I'm telling people that when they call you up, for that option to use it, I tell them to hold on to your modem for 30 days at least. Get a feel of this. Look at the speed, and then if you're comfortable with it, you probably want to stay with it in a sense. But I don't trust it, at least right now. I think one of the problems I spotted with T-Mobile, for example, the speed drops off at a certain time, after a certain amount of time, which nobody didn't know of until after they'd so long gone into the service. And that's really a bad thing when you done got this thing, you done canceled everything else and took all the other stuff back for the other company you're with, and then realize now you got a slower speed. So so it's amazing in some ways how the technology is working. But I always tell people that any of this technology, you just got to take the time and really do your research. It's just like buying a car.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
I just want to get your quick opinion on this. Lil Debbie had posted this comment that she's not afraid of AI. She's just afraid of the weirdos trying to scam her with the AI. And just as well as I know, anytime something is made for the good, somebody going to figure out how to use it for evil or bad things. So what's your take on that?
That's a good question, because I just went through this whole segment back here with quite a few people back in January and February, where now I think it was in March, where the FCC stepped in and told companies that you can't use AI as a sales tool. And what that is that, just use for example, let's say you're a security company, you're thinking that you're talking to a real person that's trying to sell you a system, and it's not a real person at all. And That's the craziest thing. I even had calls recently that are not real people. Now they react. You really, it's hard for you to tell if it's a real person or not. That's the problem. So, for example, I can see where it's going to be a big issue when it comes to banks, where that you thinking that you're talking to your bank representative that called you up, and you're not. You slowly giving this person all the information they need to get into your account, not realizing that is not a real human being at all. And you're not going to ever know it until your money's gotten stolen. So I tell people, in a case, even before the AI thing, if you get a phone call from your bank about some type of fraud, hang that phone up and call the bank yourself. I've had many customers over the last 8 years have failed for so many scams, assuming that it's legit. I mean, I would tell you, especially with Cash App. Cash App don't have a phone number. You can type it on your browser to pop a phone number up, but it's not legit. I even had customers thought they was calling HP. They type in HP on their browser, the first thing pops up, and they dial it, and it's not HP. Now, understand this. If you got a printer that's 6 years old, what makes you think that HP is going to help you fix it? It's not under warranty. But why would they need to log into your computer to fix it?
Hey, shout out to fundamentals.
So it's things like that. I can go all day as for some of the scams that people have failed for, that have lost, $300. I even had 2 cases. One lost in the last year, that lost $32,000, and another one was $8,000. And so the thing is with that, now understand something. I've been saying this long before these 2 situations happened. The banks are taking a hit when it comes down to this fraud. I have to believe, and now I know it, that they're just not going to be so easy to give your money back. If you help the person out with getting stealing your money, then they're not going to give it back. Prime example: I had a customer that had a component on their computer that was a remote program, and it was a legit one. Now I don't know where they picked it up from. They thought it was a Windows update. They had no clue. But the thing is that the person on the other end was noticing everything they type into their bank. Now, they had no clue they was being spied on. This person used to leave their computer on all the time. So at some point, this person probably didn't see the mouse moving to see no activity, and they felt it was a great time to log in because they had the username and password because they probably put a keylog in and knows everything they type in. So they basically logged into their account on their computer. Now, it's a hard thing to tell the bank that you didn't do it because think about it. On the other end, they see your IP address. They see it's from your computer. What makes them think it's not you? And how can you possibly explain to the bank that it wasn't you? You know what I mean? So I tell people, regardless AI or anything, you got to be very careful as to what you trust, and just be smart about it. Stop leaving your computer on all day running and thinking that you carefree and you ain't got to worry in the world. But also, I'd also tell people, for people that got investment accounts and bank accounts, make a habit of changing your passwords every, at least twice a year. Make it a habit. I really personally think that at some point the bank will force people, just like when you work in corporate. I think, Tom, you probably, Buffalo Picker, you probably going through the same thing at times where every 60 days or 90 days they ask you to change your password. I know I went through that, and I think at some point the bank going to force you to do that, and that's understandable because what's going on. So,
yeah,
but
even at my job, man, we have a great firewall with the federal government, but they still require you to change that password every 60 days.
Yeah, and as well as I do, none is 100%. When you think about everybody in the last 5 years have gotten hacked, LastPass I think was maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I laughed about that one because here there's people paid to keep their password safe and they got hacked. Which I laughed about. I say, doesn't that make any sense? Here's you paying extra money to keep your stuff safe and they got hacked. What does that tell you? So I just tell people, you just got to be careful as for what is out here. And the thing is that I would tell you, this AI stuff is a little scary to a point. Like I said, you thinking that you having your bank to call you, and it's not. And I would, no matter how many times I've been told customer about certain things over the last 5 to 6 years, I would say probably 60 to 70% of them fall for it anyway, even though they've been knowing me for 10 years. You know what I mean? And
hey, what's your take on Chat GPT?
It's great. Matter of fact, as for trying to, I use it, occasionally as a testing as for headlines and all that stuff. It is pretty great. It's to a point where you ask it a certain thing that does in a second. It just saves you time writing your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in that sense, I can see that it's a great thing to use. Now,
is there other features outside of writing your own stuff? Can it give you like random information about different things and going on in the world, or business strategies and stuff like that?
If you ask it, yeah.
Okay.
If you ask it, that's the thing I was saying about the legal part of this. When you're able to, if you got something legal that you want to ask it, you ask it and it will tell you. And so I can see that the legal, people that does the legal stuff, I can see at some point their jobs might be threatened to a point, because like people like me and you might not need them so much, other than go to one of these sites and ask it the question, the legal stuff, and it tells you. Now you just need to get notarized.
I kind of threw that question out there because Johnny had put a question in the chat about, is there an app out there that is easy to use that we would not have to use a company and be able to do our own work?
That's first of all, there's tons of sites out there. So my strongest advice, you got to search. I mean, it's a little different compared to 8 months ago, just maybe 2 or 3. But now there's a lot of them out there. Just like I was telling you about the video thing. When I first started just researching it, and there's only 1 or 2. Now there's tons of them out there now. So
right,
it's really to a point, just like websites. I mean, I think back in it was October last year. I think maybe it might have been October, November of last year, that there was a site that does websites. And honestly, here it is. I've been doing websites ever since '98. So to think that now you can do a website in just minutes. You put the information in there and it's done. And it as for the paragraphs or certain things you want in there, it pops it up there. If you don't want it, you just have to go ahead and redo it and just pick the one you want. And it's done. So web designers, the sites that does they're not there yet to take people's jobs yet, but I can see at some point it happening, but they're just not there yet. But they're getting there. They're getting better, you know. But that's the reason why I said, seeing 8 months to a year from now, seeing how I would love to see how much has changed, compared to where we are now, because now I just really just can't wait, to see what's out there new, and experiment with it. And I think one of the things, like I said, heard me say earlier, one of the biggest questions, and especially with people that's a little up in age in their 60s, 70s, 80s, they want to tell their life story, and now it's going to make it so much easier for them to do that. You know, with a combined software like an add-on like voice notes too, where you can just talk it all, type it, talk it instead of typing. Because a lot of people are not all that great with typing, and
Right.
imagine doing all that and then transfer it to a site where you put all that in there and just turn it into a video. So I can,
Right.
it's really to a point. It blows you away, and especially when you think about it too. If you got something written up about your parents or your grandparents, because a lot of people got a lot of writing and stuff from. Imagine putting something like that in a video just for your sons and your daughters and your grandkids to be able to see video wise, because we're in that range now. Hate to say it, not very few people read now. A lot of people want video now. So that's the coolest thing about that. So in a sense, it adds a lot to the
Hey,
game.
I don't mean to keep interrupting, man. I'm reading its
Oh no,
questions.
go ahead and give it to me.
Didn't you mention something about people can spy on you if you leave your computer on?
Yeah, see, this is what's happening. So a lot of times, with that, a lot of times people pick up stuff from websites and they have no clue what's going on, and that's where the problem is. People leave their computers on all day long and walk away for hours and have no clue that somebody's trying to get in. So, for example, let me back up here. Um, I'm not knocking any ISPs, meaning AT&T, Comcast, and what have you, but one of the things that Xfinity has was called, I hate when I forget something. Um, I'm gonna think of it. I got it on my phone, but it's a piece of software that's free, and I got cameras in the house. So one of the coolest things about that, I'm gonna look that up real quick on my phone. 'Cause I got the app on my phone, but one of the coolest things about it, it will let you know that if anybody's trying to get into your network. And at one point, it will show you the IP address of the people that's trying to get in to your cameras or whatever they're trying to get to from whatever country they're from. That's the coolest thing. And there was a company that was called Black. IBM bought them. I'll think about the company in a minute. Black Ice, back in the early 2000s. And I think they started in the 90s. A young guy that actually had it, and I think IBM bought it. I think about 2003, 2005. But the coolest thing about that, the same thing, they had the same product. They the one pretty much got it started with the IP address, and you can track them and what have you. It's pretty good. It's a security software, pretty good. And so now Xfinity have that same thing, which is totally free, which I think they should do more advertising to let people know that it's free. There are millions of people that have Xfinity, but very few people know that it's even out there to click on and add it for free. It keeps everything on your network secure, which is great. It's nothing more nicer when I see, like my son, when he got a new iPad, it popped up and told me, hey, there's a new device on your network, or something changed in your network. Someone that's trying to get in, we done blocked it. Here it is. And that is great. People now are spending billions of dollars in security. But one of the things, like I said, I would love to say, the rest of those companies have it. It would be nice, but right now the only one that has it is Xfinity, and I think they should do a better job advertising that, because I personally believe that if they've done more of that, they probably win over millions of customers just on that alone. You know,
Right.
so
Hey,
keeping your
let me give a shout out to the chat, and then we'll get back to it. We're gonna go around the panel and see if we got some questions. And also in the chat, if you got any questions for Jim, this guy has his own IT company. If you have any issue with your computers, or you want to know anything about anything in the IT world, this is your guy. Um, and his company name is Computer Geeks of Georgia. He got his website. If you're in the Georgia area and you need assistance, you definitely can reach out to Jim. And he have a long resume and plenty of reviews of trusted people that can speak on his behalf for his work.
Oh, I didn't
I
mean to
want
cut
to give
you
a
off.
shout out to Regina Michelle, Glamorous Closet. Appreciate you all coming out. If you missed the Hump Day Hangout on this past Wednesday, D Middleman was a guest on the show. So if you get a chance, go back out there, check it out. Definitely Regina and Derek bring it every Wednesday night on their show. So we're gonna go around the panel. I pretty much threw in a couple of questions, but Glass City, do you have any questions for Jim?
No, I just I had a question for him. I want to know that about that information. If he can shoot that information to me about the AI where you can connect to talking and and telling, like you said, your story. I would like some more information on that. But I sent a message to Buffalo to talk about a little bit about that AI. Yes, they have it on the Android phones. They have it on the Droids. So when you use it on the Droid, like this weekend, I did me 150 listings. But the thing I used that AI tool to help me with them 150 listings.
Yep.
So it is pretty slick to use, and it really helped a lot because I didn't have to sit there and they didn't want me to sit there and just have to type in everything. I didn't have to do that this time. I let it give the description of what the item and the product I had was, and that's how. And that was so quick, and it just went like that. So that tool is something. The AI is something because I was like, "Dang, let me just try it," and I tried it, and that's what it gave me. And it's a good tool to have. But like I said, the question I have for you is the one thing about I want to learn about more about that AI system you say that you can use to, write a book or write a play, stuff like that. I would like to know more about that. So if you don't have to right now, but later on behind the scenes, however you want to do it, I'd like to learn some more about that.
Okay.
All right, Middleman.
Johnny had a question. What is Chat GPT?
Yeah,
What is it used for? Oh, he did.
Went over that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I want to say that I'm gonna say this now. If anybody watching this, I expect to get paid for this. When I can see it coming, and I can see mechanics got a problem with their car. Take a snapshot of it. AI basically sees the problem and tell you how to fix it. Now, whoever develops that, I want to get paid. But I can see that to a point where, like I said, it's I can see that so many industries are changing and going to have to change. You heard me say about music. Music, for example, if you remember, for a lot of us that in the 70s,
Thank you, Glam.
yeah, a lot of us wasn't able. We're in small towns. We didn't have cable. You heard a lot of music, but you never seen the artist. You just love the music. So right now that's going to be a challenge at some point because we love the artist, but at the same time, if the music sounds great, and anybody gonna really care how it's created? If the beat sounds good, I mean, think about it. And so it's gonna be a challenge with the music extremely. I mean, I can see it's about the music, So the question will be, how are they gonna solve that? Where people, it's all about what they listen to. We love the artist, but at the end of the day, we're not watching the video of the artist. We're listening to the music in our cars, or we out there exercising. So, just one of those things that are great. So, the thing of it is that in every industry, like I said, it's going to make some change. It's going to be huge, I think. Like I said, with TVs and what have you, some of it's going to be really great. It's going to put a lot of people out of jobs, but at the same time, it's going to give a lot of people jobs out there, especially the young guys out here that's getting started. They're going to have a blueprint to damn near build anything they want to by just simply asking it at some point,
So being that you in the tech world, some of us refer to you all as nerds. Where do you see anything in your space that's futuristic that has not hit the mainstream or just is not out there, but you know it's coming?
That's a good question. I think, well, right now, I think as IBM got something in place where a lot of these servers are now fixing themselves. Yeah. So the tech business is going to get hit. Printers eventually. Let me back up here. There was I can't remember the software. It's been so long. There was a software that was put in place when I was at a certain company that put in place where it would tell you the problem with the printer, what need to be changed, what have you. So imagine that with AI fixing that problem, and you can be set inside the printer, don't even realize there's a problem happening, and already notified, it already know what the problem is and already fixed it before you even knew it was a problem in the first place. So imagine that world. When you think about TVs, computers, in our world, man, it's going to change a lot.
Right.
When you think about just building systems, you just heard me say it earlier. It was, when you think about systems back in the 80s and 90s, they wasn't cheap. So we'll come along and build a system for, $400 or $500, and maybe charge the customer, $800 or $900, $1,000 and make a pretty good profit. Now that's totally changed because things are, totally different now. A lot of the stuff is on the board and what have you. So it has made it really easy for the group of people that's building systems now compared to way back then. And I
Right.
will tell you, it was more of a headache back then than it is now.
I
So
had read somewhere where Elon Musk had his Tesla and the robot on display that he plans on releasing in 2025. You know anything about that?
now I haven't read about that. I haven't read about that. I probably need to, of course. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. Let me back up here. I know Sony and a few other companies are working on robots. Matter of fact, I think I blogged back here last year where I think it was Elon Musk robot I blogged on about. I got to look back at the blog on the website, but I think it was last year that I did put a blog out about it. Now that I think about it, and what they were
And they're
developing,
saying that it's on display at the mall in Orlando, the biggest mall in Orlando. It's on display.
right?
Um,
Well,
and
yeah,
from what they're saying is they are prepping for a release for 2025.
I think, don't quote me. I think I try to remember a blog I put out. I think it might have been Budweiser. I think I'm looking back on. It's been probably about some months. Might have been a year. They was testing, um, their trucks to be able to drive themselves, and also robots being able to take care of everything and have instead of having a human being. I love to think that was in Nevada, but I can't quite remember it. But
Right.
that's where it's going. When you think about the delivery people, that's going to change. You're not going to have a human being at some point, and it'll call it be quite soon that you're not going to have human beings delivering a lot of these things. Because think of it this way: if you're paying somebody 30 or 40 or $50,000 to do that, you're not paying a robot. You're just paying to build it. So that's not something that you're paying every year. So there's a lot of things that is a little scary in reference to jobs in that sense. But the reality is that this is here to stay. And
Right.
when you and as a business, I can see, just imagine here. Let's say you let's say a company came to you and said, okay, I got this robot and its vehicle to deliver all your stuff. Okay. And it picks it up. You're paying the person that maybe that develop it and what have you, a certain fee a month, what have you. But you don't have to worry about your shit being stolen. Excuse my language.
Hey, that's what I was thinking, man. If you got one, you got to worry about your stuff getting taken out the back door. You ain't got to worry about them talking back.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's a whole bunch of pluses. Long as it's effective.
I
If it
remember
can,
4 years ago,
it's
I ordered my
durable and
yeah,
it can do what you require it to do. I
yeah.
mean, I would love to have one.
I ordered my son a pair of these goggles with the little thing that he can breathe through it and that type of thing. I had to order 3 times because the first 2 times came up missing, man. I got a one of the persons told me, say, well, they said they looked in the box and it was empty. Yeah, I probably was empty after you done took it out. You know? So there's little things like that. When you think
Right.
about it, it's going to save the company money when you think about your products. If it will come down to that at some point, but at least will actually put you at ease that that's one part you don't have to be concerned about. And
Yeah.
like I said, regardless if you like it or not, you might as well embrace it and say, okay, what can I find out there that can help my business or even help my life in that sense? Regardless of finance or what have you, because that's going to change as well. So it's nice to be able to see it. You just got to sit down and figure out what part of this that you might want to do the research on to try to help you out, whatever that is. So, it's pretty cool seeing some of the development that's going on. I know that, people invest in certain things. I'm going to say this little part here is that a lot of people want to invest in um, BMW, for example, and that's great. But my advice is it's not just about BMW. It's investing in not just the engine, but the company that invests in the small parts of that engine, you know, and because that's basically, what it comes down to. And so now that's going to change when you think about AI and what have you. How many of these cars they're going to be able to push out because it's not human beings involved. If you think about how cars was painted in the past, now it's a whole different animal. I look back
Right.
when we used to do assembly lines, man. And we used to have 40 or 50 people on the assembly line just to push out anywhere from 500 to maybe 800 harnesses. That's totally changed.
Right.
So it's neat seeing that as a tech person. It's not seeing it as one of those people that's your job, your job is taken because of it, but it's just the way life is right now, and it's just going to
Right.
continue on. So, like I said, with y'all guys, man, you're just saying, okay, let me find out what's out here for me, and look at. Now, let me back up here. When you look at, when you look at Wendy's, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, I always say the one thing is that the one thing makes you different, the one thing makes you successful. So look at the things that other people are not doing in your industry, and you to be the one to do it you know, and that makes a difference, especially with this AI world, man. You got it all at your fingertips, just taking the time with the research, you know, and if you do that, just stay on top of it. It's all about how serious you are, what you do, man. So,
Yeah.
and it's kind of, and for me, I'm a tech guy, so I get ecstatic finding new stuff, man. you know,
Yeah, I see like for reselling, I see like maybe every 2 years somebody come out with a good program to help you find products, or they build on the program they already developed and it get a little better. Um, I'm definitely looking for stuff like that. I got a couple ideas in my head, which I'm not going to put it out here into the world, but I'm definitely looking forward to a couple different types of ideas, and once I see it, I recognize that that's what I'm looking for to help me in the resale game. But yeah, so got one. I don't see any more questions in the chat, but I got one final question, and I don't know if the panel have any other questions, but how do you see the employment, like the um, some of the blue collar jobs in the next 10
wow,
years with AI and
oh
robots coming about?
man, how the best way to phrase this? It's been said years ago, anyway. You're gonna be one of those people either know how to fix it or you're gonna be out of a job. It's getting to that point. When you think about warehouse work, that's totally changing. You know what I mean? When you think about warehouses alone right now today, there are plenty of them using robots instead of human beings. You know what I mean? And so it's going to continue to change. As for I hate to see it because I look back at my own life as for how that changed back in the day. When I never forget when it come into Atlanta, I never forget it. I was working with a company that had six people working in the accounting office. They didn't have one computer at the time. So the owner, me and him was pretty good. I was used to talk to him every morning, what have you. We talk about computers and what have you. And all of a sudden he gets a computer in. Next thing you know, then he gets a second one in. Now he had six people. Now he only got two. you know, so the reality of it is, as for this whole AI and robotics and what have you, the blue collar worker, man, it's going to be tough. I mean, and I hate to say this, um, for the ones that maybe don't have a proper education, I can see Wendy's making changes. I can see McDonald's making changes. Because at the end of the day, it's about profit. You know, and I hate to say it, yeah, we want to keep people employed, but we got to deal with the reality. You know, and so it's going to be very hard. The next 10 years, man, with this now on the rise, I don't know how they're going to survive. I have no clue how they're going to survive, man. I look at just like we were talking about the industry with music and movies. Um, at the end of the day, music is all about what you hear. Movie is about being entertained. Most of the time we look at a movie and have no clue what the person name that's in the movie. We just like the movie. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's about entertainment. So if an AI is created to make 5 movies and you entertain, you like it, do you really care who's in it? Because at the end of the day, it's about being entertained. A lot of
Right.
people watching this might not like that, but this is the reality. You know what I mean? So you just got a good grip. And like I said, you could be one of those people say, "Oh, I don't want to, think about it or what have you," and your business falling behind because you remember Sears, remember a Blockbuster. Look at all those companies that basically, especially Sears, they should have been an Amazon today. Blockbuster should have been a Netflix. Think about it. That's just the reality. You could be
Right.
one of those people that say, "Oh, I don't want to do it," and what have you, and you be one of those Netflix, but blockbusters trying to make a comeback, and it's no comeback, man.
Yeah.
I think it was a year, 2 years ago, they were trying to make a comeback. I mean, so that's the reality. So,
Yeah.
regardless of like it or not, that's the name of the game. And if you take the time to stay on it, to see what's out there, and it's not just doing it today and then waiting 8 months now to look again. That's something that you got to be passionate about to have you grow your business. If you want to grow your business, you do your homework. And part of just like being in school, you do your homework every day because you want to pass and grade. So when it comes down to your business, if you want the business to do well, you got to stay on top of it. Yeah, it might be tiring, but the thing at the end of the day, when you think about it, you fight to find the right tools that fits your needs, and it's going to help you get through a few steps a lot quicker. Hey, you got to go. So that's what it comes down to.
All right. So Jim, if anybody looking for you for assistance, how can they find you?
Well, the website, you can go to Computer Geeks of Georgia. There is a link there. You can go to the contact page, or you can contact me at fieldtech at computergeeksofgeorgia.com.
All right. All right. So once again, Chad, if you all have any questions for Jim the tech, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We're gonna move on with another segment of the show. But by all means, if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat, and I'll definitely post it on the screen so Jim can address it.
Oh,
Um,
I just realized. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you. I didn't never
Go
get
ahead.
Glass City his lighted thing about to send it back here last time I was on the show. I just remember that. You might have a little thing.
Yeah.
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 I just thought about that, man.
Yeah,
So
that's another thing. Talk about everything else you involved with outside of just IT in your business. What other things that you do and provide services for?
well, actually, I kind of like do a lot of the woodwork. I got laser machines where I make designs on glasses and all that other stuff. I think some one of the designs I have made for you, do all that
Right.
stuff, man. And it's kind of one of those businesses that I want to do full time, but that's a little tough when you doing this thing here, man. So, but yeah, doing
Are
all
you
that.
on Etsy?
I was. Matter of fact, I had to wind up. I'm still on there, but I'm not doing what I supposed. Let me back up here. The one thing I didn't anticipate is the computer business picking up like it did when I got that started. It's only one of me, so I had to pull back and say, well, even though I know how to do 23 different things, I started to realize that I can't put 23 things out there. That okay, I'm gonna sell this, that, but it's only one of
Right.
these. I started realizing that I pulled back and said, well, let me see the things that are the easiest to do. That if I got a T-shirt, mask, or a sign to make, that type of thing, which is all those things that I do, which is the easiest I can get out the door the same day or the next day. So, and that's what it comes down to. I don't know. Well, you can't see everything in this room, but in this room, I got 3 laser machines and 6 computers and all this other stuff back behind the scenes here, and all that stuff. So, it's pretty cool, man. I enjoy it, but just having the time to do it all on only just one person, I admit that it's something that you get. You told me about trusting people. That's a little tough. I admit I tried that with the service of computers back here. I look back at the Sears situation, man. I had people that tried to put on, and I had a guy that his mother came to me. As a matter of fact, we stayed in another neighborhood, and said, "Well, my son needs a job." I say, "Fine, I go have it." So went out there to put in a stove top, and the guy took a hammer to the top of the marble, man, and just tore it up, man. And you know, the customer was irate. I'm up here trying to be calm because in me I'm irate. Now this has to be paid for, and for me and everybody's different. It's hard for me to trust people having the same attitude about what I do. You know what I mean? I'm not a lazy person, so I try to do it right the first time. Cause I don't want to drive out 40 miles to another location. Should have been done right the first time. You know what I mean? That is the problem. I went through all of that, man. And if I had to call, if I had to talk you through a situation on the phone, then that's a problem. Then I don't need to be hiring you. I don't need to have you with me as a job because I'm doing your job that you're supposed to be doing on your own. You know.
Right.
So that trust thing with me, I admit that it's a little tough. I've seen it over the years that the minute you put a little trust in somebody, it don't go as well as you hope. And I just say, well, you know what? I ain't got time for the games. Either you know your stuff or you don't. And it's all right if you don't know your stuff. It's fine. But I don't need you portraying that you do and you got to a location and you don't know nothing. And it don't only just embarrasses the company, it's embarrassed you as a person of the company as well. So just like when y'all business, I don't know how many people you hire, but you know how it is when you think that you got the right people in your corner and doing what they're supposed to do. But I live by one rule: always inspect what you expect. So what you tell me is one thing, but I'm gonna inspect to make sure it's right. So I'm not about what you tell me. I inspect what I expect. That's just my motto. Has always been. And one of the other signs, I tell people, I said, I don't quit when I'm tired. I quit when it's done. You know what I mean? So those are 2 mottos in life I live by. I don't, you might see me dragging only because I've been out there, like in the yard, for example, all day. Job ain't been done. I'm out here driving at 10, 11 o'clock at night. Hey, the job ain't done. If I gave a promise, I try to keep it. So that's what it is, man. So those are 2 rules of life I live by.
Right.
So inspect what you expect.
Right. Anybody else got anything? All right.
No.
So I don't see any other questions in the chat. So we're gonna move on to the next segment, and I appreciate all the information, the value you brought to the show tonight, Jim.
Thanks, man.
I just want to get that out early to let you know, man, I appreciate you. And we definitely gonna have you back again if you're available. I know you're busy. You're wearing a lot of hats, but definitely want to bring you back at some point.
Well, I'm married to.
Say again.
You know who I'm married to. That's the reason why I wear so many hats.
All right.
I'm gardener now. I'm outside gardening as well. But I had to wear.
All right. So, yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that, Jim. I want to get you the old one too. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the reseller 411 and talk about that topic. And basically, I can give you the backstory on it. If you're not noticing in your area, a few J.C. Penney's and Walmarts are starting to close. And they're not just in the rural areas. They're starting to close in major cities. And what made this topic catch my attention is 2 stores here in Atlanta is closing down, and one of them is in a popular area in Atlanta. And I don't know what's going on in other cities, but I know that they're announcing that they are closing down some the what you call the neighborhood Walmarts and the super Walmarts. So we're going to discuss that. Let me go ahead and get into this segment.
Reseller 411, the unfiltered truth, telling it like it is. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't.
All right. So Resell 411, Chris, are you familiar with any of the stores, big box stores closing around your area?
Yeah. Well, just off the rip, they didn't start shutting down restaurants, Red Lobsters and stuff like that. Didn't been taken off the board. They didn't start shutting down Rite Aids. They've been taking them off the board. So yeah, it's a lot of that stuff going down now. As of in Walmarts and all that, they got what's the one? Oh man, it's not Forever 21, but it's another one. They taking it. It's a few of them, bro. So yeah, man. I don't know, man. The game is twisted. Like he said, if you ain't getting down, you won't be getting down. So you better start sticking around and watching what's going on, because some of your neighborhood stuff might be closing down, man. But yeah, I know a lot for real. But the Rite Aids up this way so far. They didn't say nothing about no Walmarts or anything like that. But I know Rite Aids for sure, and Red Lobster and a couple other eateries. So yeah, man. I guess just gotta. Oh man, I don't know. That's what I was saying the last week when we was talking. I was saying to myself, like, I wonder if this gonna have an effect with all this, people going in these stores, taking and this, that, and the third, and making these big box stores saying we can revert to this, selling this stuff online. It'll be a whole lot cheaper too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but yeah, I know Rite Aids and them for sure, and Red Lobster up this way, but I haven't heard about Walmart or nothing like that.
Right. Middleman?
Well, around here, most of all the Tuesday mornings closed over here. Just like him, Red Lobsters are closing, Walgreens are closing. See a few Walgreens. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they was on certain blocks. Now they're not there no more. So funny. I delivered to a couple of them just before they closed.
Right.
They was cleaning them out. Yeah, but you see a lot of these mom and pop shops are closing too. Just it's the economy is taking effect on everybody.
I got a question.
Right.
You got Dollar Trees closing in your areas as well?
Oh, Dollar Trees?
Yeah.
Oh no, not around us. Dollar Trees seem like they thriving in Florida.
Yeah. They just built a couple of them around where I'm at.
Yeah, they're making them bigger. They super Dollar Trees.
Yeah, super stores. Yeah.
Because back I blogged maybe about 5 months ago, where they're shutting down quite a few of them throughout the country. So right here in Georgia, they're shutting down quite a bit of them.
They growing their way around here. They getting bigger.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, I just want to get y'all take on that, because I'm just looking at what type of effect would it have for getting ready for Q4 for the people that actually go out and do retail arbitrage. Do you think this is going to have a big effect on the folks that actually go out and make these different clearance purchases and stuff like that?
Well, to me, yeah, I think it would. Just think about it. If you ain't got your Walmart over there, you got to go a little bit further out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, man, it will affect a lot of people. And if that's the only way they're getting their deals at, because a lot of people, ain't going online too and surfing, the website, the back pages basically of hustling. They ain't getting online going and searching for it like that. They go, like you said, do the retail arbitrage a lot of times and go in there. But like I said, I believe a lot of it, they finna move when they trying to move out the box store. I think that's what they're trying to take away. A few places they're trying to take it away.
Right.
So man, it's kind of scary though.
Nordstrom Racks was closing a lot of stores as well.
Y'all guys see a lot of warehouses and what have you built around here, because I know that's one thing that me doing all the driving I do. I see a ton of them in the last 2 years, man. They're putting up warehouses all over the place. So I'm assuming a lot of these stores are now doing online.
Correct.
And it got to be. That's what I'm assuming. I'm only assuming, of course. But I'm seeing a lot more warehouses being put up. And like what y'all guys do, that's going to be major, man.
If they smart, they'll start transitioning their warehousing and do it online.
They need to wait. They need to wait about another 20 years on that.
Oh, why is that?
Because they take the small man out the game.
Oh man! I mean, if they all transition to the warehouses, what they gonna need us for?
They ain't gonna need us.
Yeah,
I mean, if I can go directly online from the store, why I'm gonna buy from a reseller?
But they just like Target. Target allow people to sell on their website. They can't sell it off.
But I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. If they corner the market with the warehouse and they start putting all their stuff online, how easy is it for them to kick us off the platform? Wow. See what I'm saying? We providing a service for them as a third-party reseller now because they haven't cornered the market with the warehouses. But if they do that, if all the Walmart shut down, they go to the warehouses, they don't need us no more.
But
see what I'm saying? So give me 20 years and y'all do all of that, man.
But isn't it an opportunity for y'all guys to get your own shops in a sense? You know what I mean? To be that so-called Walmart in the future in a sense.
Ideally, that would be the move.
Like that. But
me and Middleman talk about that a lot. That's ideally the move is to get your own facility and create your own website. Use some of that organic traffic from these big platforms and direct it to your website. Yeah, that's the move. And this ain't nothing new that I'm speaking of. I have seen, like, I'm gonna just throw a name out there. Big Boy Toys.
Yeah,
I think that's the name of them. I remember 3 years ago, they was like nobody. And what they started doing was selling on Amazon, put a little card in their package. And when it comes to the customer, they telling you, if you order from us, we're going to give you 10% off. And now they one of the big toy companies out there.
Well, let me ask you a question. There might be some option that if you ain't already thought about it. If they shutting down a certain Walmart in a certain area, for example, marketing wise, you want to go after those customers to be able to sell your product because the Walmart is no longer there. You know what I mean? This is where maybe AI, what we talked about earlier, could be a huge advantage to lock into the customers where the Walmart is no longer there or into the stores.
That would be great. That would be great if you got your own. But if you selling, like, say, the Middleman and we selling on Walmart. Walmart pretty much doing that for us.
But let me back up though. But see, if you, for example, like Facebook, Twitter, and all this other stuff, trying to fine tune your marketing to because there's the platform allow you to pick certain cities and towns to market those advertisements to those people in those areas. You follow me? So that might be a huge advantage where that the Walmart is no longer in that location. But if you fine tune your advertising to those areas that the Walmart is no longer, or the whatever stores that are close in those areas, marketed that just those alone is basically what it comes down to. It might be a huge thing in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Just fine tune your marketing in that sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because like in my case, it's the same thing. I don't want to ride all over the city if I don't have to, but marketing wise, I pick, certain things to put in there as for the cities that you want to market to. So with y'all guys, man, y'all got a huge, in a sense, is a good thing maybe that if they're no longer in the area, but you just got to fine tune your marketing in that area where that company is no longer there.
Right.
You see what I'm getting
Shout
at?
out to Bill Bixby. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you coming out. All right. This is Jim website. If you got any questions that concern your computer or IT, you can actually reach out directly to him at his website. Nana says she got 3 family members that work at Rite Aid. All right, so
I'm watching them.
All right, so we got to go ahead. We had 1 hour and 16 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the giveaway tonight. Shout out to Truly, what's that? Truly Amazing. Appreciate you coming out. Get ready to shut it down. Truly Amazing. Been on here 1 hour and 16 minutes. So tonight I'm giving out a Barbie. And this Barbie is you can be anything. I'm going to show y'all what we got. We're going to do the number game as well tonight. So middleman, you out. All right, so this is what I'm giving away tonight. All right, this the collection. I don't know if you all can see that, but all 4 of these dolls are the collection. I have this one in the warehouse. I have about 60 of those in the warehouse, just waiting to Q4 to ship them to Amazon. But yeah, this one right here. We got 17 people in the chat. So if you're interested, drop your number in the chat from 1 to 25. 1 to 25. 1 to 25. One to 25. Once I drop the X's, it's over with. Middleman, I'm just clowning, man. You can jump in if you want to. I know you ain't gonna win this one though.
You said 125?
Yeah.
No, I'm good, bro. I'll let everybody. I let everybody do it. I just, you know what I mean. I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking 7, but I know that probably ain't it.
Hey, I tell you when I go through it though. It ain't 7.
It ain't 7.
No. All right, if you're interested, go ahead and drop your number, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out.
Ooh, 22.
You said 22?
Yeah. Nah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and drop this. All right, so here's the number, and Chris, you need to donate this to Jennifer Hayes, guy. This joker right here, man.
17.
17.
Uh-oh.
Plaxico Birds.
Ah.
Hey, boys, man.
I thought y'all just.
Hey, I'm gonna get away from the Steelers number, man. I'm gonna go to the Rams or something. But anyway, let's see. So Chris, anybody else has 17 in here? That's it. So you want it, or you gonna donate it to Jennifer?
No, she can have it, bro. Send it to her.
Right. Jennifer, I got another item I got to send you out tomorrow as well that the middleman donated to you. So I get that stuff shipped out to you tomorrow.
Yeah, send it to Jennifer.
That's the only giveaway for the night. So we're going to work our way around the room to close out the show. Chris, you can go ahead, middleman, and then let me back up. Our special guest, go ahead, Jim. You got anything you want to plug, whatever you want to add to the show? We get ready to close it out.
If you need computer help or need camera help or TVs, anything related to electronics, give us a call, 404-295-2020, or visit our website, computergeeksofgeorgia.com, or email me at fieldtech@computergeeksofgeorgia.
All right. Chris?
Hey man, you know what it is, man. Glass City Pickers about to have a beautiful weekend, man. I hope everybody else have a beautiful weekend. Great show, Jim. Always keep that information coming like you always do. Thanks.
Thank you.
To my brothers from another's, y'all know what it is. Much love to y'all. And to the fans out there, to our family, y'all know what it is too, man. We appreciate y'all more than y'all know. But you know we need to promote this show. So y'all need to stop playing because y'all know we putting it down every Friday. But it's about to change up. So God bless everybody. Much love from the Glass City Pickers.
Hey, Jim, Dana said you make house calls in PA. So you can remote in, right? Can't
Yeah,
you
I can remote in. I'm about to say you expect me to drive. There might be a little delay.
Middleman.
Well, yeah. First thing thank you, Jim, for coming out. Thanks to everyone for coming out tonight. I have a whatnot show tomorrow at I think it's 8 p.m. Come out to it. And this coming Tuesday, me and Buff will be on what's that? The Flipper,
Nurse
Nurse Flipper channel. I'm
Right.
sorry, I don't know why I just went brain fart. The Nurse Flipper channel. Come out and support. Thank y'all for coming out. Again, tomorrow, 8 p.m. whatnot. And that's it. And y'all have a good weekend and God bless.
All right. So y'all help me get the word out as well. We're gonna change direction for the show. We're no longer gonna do the show on Friday nights. We're gonna switch over to Sundays at 7:30. So next week, our guest is gonna be Picking in the Hood too. He normally do our last Friday of the month show, and that show is gonna be on Sunday. So moving forward, this is the last Friday night show for Defend the Hustle. Defend the Hustle is going to Sunday night, 7:30. And I guess next week is going to be Picking in the Hood 2. And moving forward, our show is going to be on Sundays at 7:30. So if you can help us out with getting the word out to people that watch our show, come out, support the show, is that we're going to move next week, Sunday at 7:30. All right.
Oh, thanks, Jennifer.
Hey, no, Brian, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show, man. I truly appreciate it. It's nice seeing y'all guys again. I know it's been a minute, Y'all guys reach out to me if you need anything or have any questions. That's what I'm here for. Don't feel like it's not a bother, man. Just give me a ring, man.
All right.
We're in this whole technology way. You think, so however you choose to do it, man.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get you back on the show, Jim. Appreciate the gems you dropped tonight, man. You covered a lot of stuff, man.
Before I forget though.
Yeah.
Before I forget, and it's for the people that have older computers that will not upgrade to Windows 11. That's major because next year they will no longer support Windows 10. So I'm telling people, start thinking about buying a new computer, at least by the end of the year, if you're one of those people, because I really believe that the store is going to probably start increasing the prices as you get closer to that date. You know what I mean? And so security-wise is something that you need to start thinking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you all could come out Tuesday night for the Nurse Flipper show, as Middleman stated, him and I will be special guests on her show. And you all know we're going to bring it. Hopefully we can pull some of those viewers from over there into the Defend the Hustle show as well. And I appreciate Kat for reaching out and inviting us to her platform. So with that being said, as always, thank you all for your support. Defend the Hustle. See you all next Sunday, 7:30, with special guest Picking in the Hood too. Everybody have a good weekend.